playing the video?
Too sexy for this syrup, too sexy for your girl, too sexy for this world, too sexy for this life, too sexy for that jack, yeah, yeah. I'm too sexy for this chain, too sexy for your game, too sexy for this fame, yeah, yeah. I'm too sexy for the trap, too sexy for that cap, too sexy for that jack, yeah, yeah, yeah. I pop out.
Spartan Dawg for Life show. How on earth are we all doing today? Hey, this is my co-host for today, Brian Masalam. Brian, how on earth are you doing today, my man?
Fantastic. A little embattled.
Sure.
We're going to get there, though.
Sure.
We're going to keep chopping.
Keep chopping right through it. This is going to shock you all, but I'm not Justin Sind. Yes, you're used to the lawn, dark, and handsome Justin Sind, but I am not lawn at all. I'm actually only 5'9". If I'm wearing the right pair of socks, I am certainly not dark. I'm almost translucent in this light, and I'm not handsome? Please. No, that's way out the window, but I'm going to try my best.
Casper, you look like Casper the Friendly Ghost right now.
I know.
Is it the light?
Right.
What is it?
I'm trying like a go green with my hat and like a go white thing with everything else. Like this is tan for me, if you could honestly believe that. So, a little bit of a difference from Justin Sind here, who's a professional, who's just a great person all around. But here I am co-hosting today. We're going to give it our best shot, though. But it is fantastic to be here. We have some great stuff to talk about because, hey, there's never a cloudy day in East Lansing. And on today's show is the general manager himself, Saeed Khalif. Yes, the GOAT. Sir, amazing to see you here. How on earth are you doing over there? How's life in East Lansing over there?
We got a little liquid sunshine, but things are fine here.
Liquid sunshine, absolutely positive. You know what you got? You got Spartan weather over there. That's what you got. You got a little bit of Spartan weather over there, so that's going to get the boys going, I think, as we head into a big homecoming weekend. So, hey, vibes are high.
There's no deep water without the rain.
Not at all. Not at all. GM, how you doing? You doing okay?
I'm doing great.
Good. Thank you for joining the show. Just curious. We appreciate you coming on. How's the overall attitude of the team been during this trying stretch here?
Well, it would be disingenuous to say we weren't a little frustrated with some of our outcomes. Obviously, the effort is there. The guys are trying hard, and we got a few things, a few bounces that's not going our way, a few mistakes along the way, but that's football. And we believe in our process. We believe in our direction. We believe in Coach Mel Tucker's guidance. And we believe we'll finish this season strong.
And obviously, hey, you're a young kid. You're a young player. This is all new to you to begin with college football. But this is also a tough skid. How have the younger players, especially the ones that have already gotten this playing time right off the bat, how have they adapted to the challenges so far earlier this year?
Well, I have the pleasure of going to practice every day. Watching these guys compete and fight to get better, want to make a difference in the outcome. So, the energy is high, the effort is high in practice. We're getting the right formula together, and you'll see some different play from our guys. It's not from a lack of effort.
Good to hear. So, I hate to make excuses, but we've obviously had a lot of injuries on defense. You've seen 2 D linemen go out. We've had 2 of our leaders go out in the back end, probably missing 4 to 5 starters on the defense. And, we've had, when you have an 11-2 season, expectations the next year are obviously raised, where those of us that kind of look behind the curtain know, this is still a rebuild. It's still a rebuild. It's going to take a few years to get us to where, Mel Tucker believes this program needs to be. Just talk to us a little about how the young players have adapted to this in playing times, and what have been the benefits of some of the younger players being able to step up and play right now.
Well, the one is to learn the speed and the power of the college game. They were all highly sought after high school players, and they did well in their programs. But it's a different speed, as you know, and there's a different level of strength that it takes to play in Power 5 football, especially in the Big Ten. And I think some of these guys getting early exposures and opportunities to play only makes our program better. It builds depth as the players get a chance to play more. We find out who you can trust in difficult situations and who you can go to. We don't make excuses about injuries. They're facts of the game. It's part of what happens. The fact is we are down some people. That's a fact. The fact is next man up is our mantra, and we're going to believe in that process. But we had some of the same injuries last year. We had guys step up, and I mean, even in my picture behind me, you see guys playing with clubs on their hands and things of that nature. We're a battle-tested program, and we're going to fight through. We went through a difficult stretch here, and we're working to overcome it, and we're in great shape here. We're in great shape here. We got great spirits about where we're headed and what we're doing. Obviously, we have some disappointment with where we started, but we're about where we're going to finish. It's not about where we are right now. We still got a second half of the season to play. We got a bye week where we're going to go out and recruit more talent to help this team, because we're going to lose some guys from this team, obviously, through graduation in the NFL. So we got to continue to keep adding. And this is still the best place for a young man coming out of high school to come and build his legacy right here in East Lansing. We have great support. We have great financial support. We got new facilities under construction. We got great leadership from Coach Tucker. We have a lot of positives going on right here in East Lansing. And if you thought it was a good place to be before, just look what it'll become as we continue to fight through this difficult time. Every great program I've ever seen went through something, right? We're going through our something right now, and we'll be strong.
Amen, GM. Absolutely love the attitude. That's what we're talking about. So, with that said, hey, just like any good fan, I spend most of my hours of my day just worrying about recruiting, because that's just a completely healthy thing for a fan like me to do. But for you, someone that's in the weeds, like, what is that top message then for current recruits right now? Is it going to be that new facility? Is it going to be the possibility of playing time? Or is it just more like a case-by-case basis, depending on, what kid likes what?
Well, first you have to remind them a team is different from year to year. Every team, we're not last year's team. And Coach Tucker is very upfront with everyone about it. We're not last year's team. We have to remind our own team. We're not just going to be able to throw the ball out there and go and get the success. We've got to go and earn and claim our own identities and fight through it and get to it. So if you're a high school kid that just want to go ride with a bunch of front runners and go out there and it's only good when it's good, you're not for our program. You can't battle in the deep water if you're the kind of person that can only make it when things are favorable, right? And the way we make our favor is trust in our process, continue to learn every day, get incremental gains, and keep chopping. That's what we are. We're a chop program, and we're looking for people who want to chop and who believe that they're going to build character, have a great experience, and hoist some trophies in the end because they chopped through it and they learned how to battle when things got tough.
That's exactly right, because adversity builds character, and we learn a lot about those that are in the bunker with us when the bullets are flying. And if you're looking and you're talking to recruits, you have a coach that has a 10-year contract as a picture of stability. You have donors that are all in on the coach. You have an AD and an administration that's all in on the program, the facilities. And when you look at the long-term trajectory of this program, there's no question it's trending up. How do you get this younger generation of young men that want to be recruited that it's instant gratification? How are you able to message and convince them of the long-term vision of the program?
First, you share it. A lot of them just don't know it. A lot of them only know what they read from people who don't necessarily know what's going on the inside. Our job from the inside is to share with those that we're seeking what our process is. We have to share that information. We share that message and encourage them to come see us. So we don't shy from inviting them. We still want them to come see us. Come be around us. Come feel the energy. Come feel the culture. Come feel what our players actually go through on a day-to-day basis as they're building toward the successes on the field. The successes on the field are going to come. They're going to come because we have a process we trust and we believe in. That's where it's going to come from. It's the same process that we used in the past. We just got to get more people doing it consistently. That's what's going to happen for us. And when it happens, it's going to be an explosion like unseen in East Lansing. And then they'll be calling us again, but we'll keep calling because we're not shying from our program. We call and we say, hey, we need you here. We want you here. You see something you think you can do to help us? Come prove it. Let's go. The opportunity is here. If you say, hey, I think I can come do something to help that program, we want players like that, right? We want players to say, hey, I want to come compete on a high level, and I want to step in and roll up my sleeves and get my nose bloody when things get tough. Because at the end of the day, we'll be standing strong, and you'll be looking on the outside, looking in and say, man, if I'd have just stayed the course. So we have a bunch of commits that are, they think it's flip season, out here in the world. You got a bunch of guys coming after our guys. We have some that are locked in, and we have some that we know, we have to keep encouraging them that the decision that they made was the right decision and remind them why they ultimately made that decision. They didn't make the decision because of the success of last year. They made the decision because of the people and the relationships that they built and the program that we're building. They're seeing the opportunities that lie ahead of them. They know that NIL, okay, Michigan State participates in that. They got donors that are strong. All right, they're building new facility. The investment is here. They made an investment in their head coach. So you can't say, hey, he's going to leave us and run to one of these open jobs. Well, that's not proven business. So that's not something that you have to concern yourself with. The security of our program is right here in East Lansing, and we're going to fix the issues in East Lansing right here. Come join us, be a part of it, right? Be a part of that resurgence, because last year all I heard was the resurgence. We haven't stopped resurging. We had some difficult weeks.
And I think that dispels one of the myths, right? That, hey, sometimes you have great visitors on campus during this unfortunate losing streak, obviously. But the myth is here that's oh, well, there goes that kid's visit. But, no, you still are able to have these positive visits with official visitors, unofficial visitors, all that stuff, despite, a little bit of a rough patch going on because, they see the relationship and the vision. So, really, hey, just calm everyone down and say that it's all a myth when people visit during bad weekends. That's not the end-all be-all for visits, right? I mean, come on.
Not at all. They leave here still feeling respected, still feeling like, hey, this is a program that has it together. They had a tough day today, and they go through that tough day with us. If that's the outcome, but they see guys that fought their tail off, they see guys that's trying, and they see a coaching staff that's pouring into some players, and they're going to get it better. They see that.
They do. As you know, everybody, these younger generation recruits, everybody pays attention to social media. If there's one word that you can give, Spartan Nation, Spartan Twitter, because recruits, they read that stuff. They read all that. They read the narrative, and those that want to, get emotional and take shorthanded jabs or whatever at the program, sometimes they probably don't realize that they're hurting recruiting down the road. What message would you relay to Spartan Twitter while they're frustrated about the long-term vision of the program and whatever they message people are reading? What would you say to them?
I have two words: trust and believe.
I like those words.
We're doing the right things, and believe that it's turning. Just believe you're in the right direction. We're going in the right direction. And it's not always measured by the end result in the score games. But program and systemically, we're headed in the right direction. The right things are being done. And as we recruit and we add more players, because we have good football players, we don't have enough in certain situations to overcome some of the challenges of a football season. And that's not to make an excuse. That's just you need more really good players when football season go on. You look across the country, and Coach Tucker said it today. You look across the country, there isn't 100% football player on any program right now if you've been playing actively in football. You've got some ding, some something going on, and you got to figure out how to battle through and fight through, and you got to make sure you got enough guys to get you to the finish line when it's time to get to. We're going to be highly competitive, guys. I would, I almost want to steal the Aaron Rodgers. Relax. Relax.
That's right.
That plays.
It does.
Worked
It says
out that
social
season,
media is boom, 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 boom. But he's right. He's right. One last thing before I let you go, GM. I was thinking about Mel, and is there a bigger validation than some of our extremely successful donors who identify talent and invest in it? Is there a bigger validation to tell recruits that we have donors that are extremely successful, that have an eye for talent, that have decided to invest in one Mel Tucker? What could be a greater validation than that?
There is none bigger, because those people don't gain the success by not doing the right things with their resources. So they see something, they know something, and they're a rare breed that actually get to achieve the kind of success that they have achieved. And for them to bet on Coach Tucker and continue to support Coach Tucker tells you they see something in him and his approach, and the approach that he's leading our program with, to say, you know what, we're going to continue to ride with our guy because he has the stuff that has made us successful. And we're going to stick with him because we've seen it be successful, because they're living proof of it.
Sure are. The
GM has spoken.
You can't. You just cannot. You talk about a couple individuals that know how to identify talent, right? So,
No kidding.
hey, we're in that bunker with you. We understand our rough times. We've been there before, GM. We're gonna keep chopping.
Let's go.
We're gonna keep chopping, and we appreciate you joining us tonight. And good luck Saturday, and let's go write that chip, and let us know what you need from us. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm going to go call some recruits and wish them a good night and tell them we'll see them Saturday.
We'll see him. Thank you,
There we
General
go. You're
Manager.
the man, GM.
Thank you, GM
Thank
Said
you.
Khalif. I'll tell you, he's done an amazing job, over there, and
Bang up job.
absolutely, he's there are always going to be difficult times in a program, and there are going to be expectations that are not met, and it will test the resolve of the fan base. It'll test the bandwidth of the program.
There's no doubt. And look, you think I'm thrilled about the 4-game losing streak? Are you? Is GM? Is Mel Tucker? No one's thrilled about it. No, of course not. But it is all about that long term. And maybe this season is just a stark reminder that it's more of a rebuilding project than a lot of us even realized. But again, how do you dig yourself out of that hole? Recruiting. The lifeblood of college sports, whether you believe it or not. Hey, I used to be a doubter of that too. I was, falling in love with everything during the Mark D'Antonio days of, just gritty 2 stars and all that stuff works. But is that sustainable though? So no, it is, recruiting is the lifeblood of any college program in any sport.
So, you bring a good point, right? Because the formula prior was to recruit the unheralded young man and to develop him.
And it worked.
It worked.
Somehow, some way it did work.
And it worked. And it worked, and it worked. We had some golden years, 13, 14, and 15, without question.
Wouldn't trade him for anything.
Absolutely not.
But with that said.
But with that being said, when you look at the last 4 or 5 or 8 national championships,
Correct.
champions,
Yep.
and you look at the number of 4-star and 5-star kids that they've had on their roster, it's no secret
It's up there.
what the long-term formula is.
Yeah, it is recruiting. Surprise, surprise, these guys that rate these kids actually know what they're doing. Hey, look, are they going to bet 100% on these kids? No, of course not. But more times than not, the recruits they say are going to be pretty dynamite end up being the game changers for programs here. So, hey, that's not to say that you're not going to find a diamond in the rough, once every 3-star. But if you want sustainability, continued success.
Sustainability, you're not going to find a walk-on like Jack Conklin.
That's hard.
A 2-star like Le'Veon Bell.
It's hard. Darquez Denard,
Denard, Trey Waynes. These are first-round draft picks that were 2 and 3 stars.
Yeah.
That's very, very rare.
Very difficult. And also now, we're starting to get a while away from when those guys played as well. As much as it pains me to say, because that's when I was in college, and for me to say that means I'm becoming archaic as well. But here we are. But no, hey, that's a long way of saying that recruiting. Well, you graduated a year before me, I think. Is that?
Yeah, 96.
See, just like I said.
I do.
2013. Yep.
Is it the lighting, or are you pale?
No, I'm beyond pale. I'm beyond pale.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's how much GM left a mark on me, is that everything he was saying, I was just stunned. I just all the emotion
I just want to know,
face.
you look super white.
This is actually even not as bad as they usually look, too. You should see me in the dead of winter. It is... This is why I used to do a podcast, and then they made me go on YouTube to show my face, and it's like, that's a way to sink ratings right there. But now here we are. And then you invited me on this show. I'm like, well, it's not like it's on high definition on YouTube or anything like that, right? Surely it's behind a screen. That's why I need like a confessional booth. That's what I need. I'm behind like a plank of wood.
Just ask the question.
Oh, I'd like to give blunt answers. So there you go.
On to Ohio State.
Oh, even better. Yeah, even better than
fantastic
my skin tone.
highlights.
There you go. Yeah.
Fantastic. Obviously, MSU loses to Ohio State 49-20, and, kind of the same old stuff that we've seen over the last 3-4 weeks. Matt, what are your thoughts on the game and what we all saw?
Sadness. Pain. Yeah. No, look, it is what we have seen the last 3 or 4 weeks here, and it's just another reminder that the talent disparity is there, of course. But also, look, I hate to use injuries as an excuse. Most fan bases used to not using injuries as an excuse, but regardless, you are that shallow in your depth at the front 6 or the front 7, however you want to call it. Look, Michigan State's front 6 or front 7 is fine when they start the game, but when you're going up against guys that are playing on Sunday, like the Ohio State Buckeyes, after a while, that's going to wear you down immediately. And we saw that come to life on Saturday. So, yeah, look, the defense has had their struggles. But when you're losing 5 or 6 starters,
that catch right there, you're just, those are
what
NFL
do you do?
Catches.
What do you do? I think Mel Tucker said at his press conference, I talked to some guys about what happened on 1-on-1.
That's great coverage.
That's what happened on 1-on-1 right there. All you could say is that that gentleman that caught that ball will be one of the first 15 names read at the NFL draft on whatever day it is in 2024.
No question.
What do you do? Look, we just had an unfortunate mishap of, we ran into Ohio State. That's not to say there's not, more problems lingering, of course, which we will get to in a hot second. But, that's what happens when you face the Buckeyes.
You saw the time of possession was 37 minutes to 23 minutes. Again, getting pressure on the quarterback.
I know.
And then a push by the O-line.
Yep.
The run game, we kind of struggled. And this is I think this is what some of the things the fan base is upset about are blown assignments.
Yep.
Right? It's one thing if there's a talent disparity. There's another thing if there's miscommunication. So, there are some of the things that have reared their ugly heads. And a lot of that has to do with playing some of the younger talent. Yeah. You got a bunch of young guys back there, some of them making their first starts, and these are the things that happens. These are growing pains, and when you have a defense that's there's the margin for error isn't there.
Yeah.
We're not 3 deep like Ohio State.
Correct.
We don't have 6 top 100 receivers that are not playing.
Yeah.
All right. We need everybody, all hands on deck, and to be healthy, to be able to compete right now until, Tuck's able to get 2, 3, 4 recruiting classes in. And you saw the talent disparity. You did. You saw it.
Yep.
And so, now on to the next week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And look, this is what we're going to try to find this weekend here is, obviously there's the talent disparity. We talked up and down about that, and it's been pretty evident over the last few weeks. But also, the lack of confidence, too, and it pertains to third down mostly. And, if you've listened to my show on the side, am I allowed to plug it? It's called Locked On Spartans.
Plug it. Locked On Spartans.
So if you've heard that yesterday, you've already heard this stat here, but there's 2 stats that are really alarming. And it's the time of possession, which what you just mentioned. And Ohio State had the ball for 37 minutes, okay? That's the 3rd straight game Michigan State has played in, where they are dominated in time of possession.
Hold on. Plug your podcast again for us.
That's Locked On Spartans, 5 days a week. That's right, YouTube podcast. If you want more of this face, well, I got bad news for you. You can get it on YouTube.
He's not pale there.
Well, yeah, different lighting situation at home. I don't turn on any lights, actually. That's a different situation. But also, not only time of possession, but it's also the third down defense.
Yeah, the third down.
But not just the third down defense, Brian. We're talking specifically the third down defense in the first half of games. I have a stat for you that's not necessarily a fun fact, but it paints a good picture of what's been going on. The last 4 games against Power 5 opponents in the first half only. So, last 4 games against Power 5 opponents in the first half only. Michigan State defense is giving up 69% of conversions on third and fourth down combined. 69% of third and fourth down attempts by Power 5 opponents in the last 4 games in the first half when the game is still competitive. 69%. That is a not nice number, if I could just add that really quick. But that also, hey, look, you combine the run game. Obviously, that's been slow to get off the blocks the last few games, but also not getting off the field. Yeah, the not there run game, and then just not getting off the field on third down or fourth down, depending on how the opponent's feeling that day. You add those two together, and that's going to help for time of possession disparity, which is why MSU is bottom 5 in the nation at time of possession right now. And that's a streak that just, look, it has to end if you want to get on the winning side of games here, and hopefully that we can get on the winning side of that this weekend during homecoming. Hey, maybe Spartan Stadium gets a little electric. You stop the Badgers on their first third down, get some confidence under these guys, because, man, it has been a murderer's row on third and fourth down in the first half the last 4 games, which, look, a lot of these games, by the time the second half rolls around, not looking too good.
Speaking of the next game, let's head to the Wisconsin. We got the Badgers coming into town.
That's right.
And let's talk about the keys to that game. Fresh off their firing of Paul Chryst, in which I believe
Gonzo
was a way to keep Jim Leonard there. That was the next favorite to be the coach there.
100%.
Which is very un-Wisconsin-like.
It is.
They're a program of stability, a picture of stability.
Sure.
Yep. They're consistently winning 8-9 games. They don't fire many coaches in season.
Yep.
Their football, basketball, wrestling team, hockey team all look the same.
Yep.
Play the same.
Yep.
Slow, slosh, plod down the field.
Yep.
Physical.
And they brought Paul Chryst out to the guillotine anyway. Yep.
They did. All for Jimmy Leonard. And
which first game for him, not bad. I think they beat Northwestern. What was the score, 86-3 or something like that? Like they really
86-2. 86-2.
Sorry, that's right.
Yeah.
They missed the extra point on that safety. That's right. That's a good point.
They did.
Look, the keys to the game for Wisconsin, and this is going to be a lot easier said than done, but you got to eliminate one of the facets of Wisconsin's offense here, right? They got the run game, they got the pass game.
Can they pass?
Well, yeah, maybe, because
their tackles look like running backs.
I know.
Their running backs look like tackles.
That's the thing that
their
gives me a glimmer of
quarterback
hope.
looks like a left tackle.
That's what gives me a glimmer of hope, is that this isn't the classic Wisconsin offensive line that we're used to seeing. Like, we're usually used to seeing just 5 guys that look like Atlas out there just blocking for the Badgers. But like this year, they actually just look like a normal offensive line, which is pretty nice. So you either got to take away the passing game, which has been revamped just 1 week ago under Jim Leonard. They gave their offensive coordinators the key to the offense. No, this isn't Paul Chryst doing his, hey, we're going to run, and then we're going to run, and then we might pass, and then we're going to run. No, like, they went 5 wide. They did some RPO. They got a little frisky for Wisconsin standards last week. So you take away the run, which Michigan State...
I have not seen an RPO at Wisconsin since 1978.
I'm sure 20% of their fan base went into shock the first time they saw that last week. I'm sure they even were like, was that legal that we just did? Like, what?
This is the jolt that they need. I mean,
it is 100%.
100% the jolt that they needed. And they usually play physical. And I think, again, right, matching Wisconsin's physicality up front.
Yep.
I think, we need QB1 to play with some confidence.
Yep.
Got to get, obviously, the same things, right? Get off the field on third down. Need to make Wisconsin one-dimensional. And then really, their running back, Braylon Allen, right? I mean, he is. He's, I think, the 11th leading rusher in the nation.
He is. He's a stud, but this is where you got to have a glimmer of hope for a win here is stopping their run game. Yes, Braylon Allen, just like you said, 11th in rushing yards in America. But there are two stats that pop up to me when I look at Wisconsin's rushing game. They are ranked beyond 100th in opportunity rate. Now, what on earth is opportunity rate? Well, it's when there's 4 yards to gain, they get those 4 yards. They do that not in the top 100 of the country. They're actually just kind of mediocre at getting that. And also, too, for rushes that go 10 or more yards, they're still outside of the top 100 in that metric as well. So just keep the run game in front of you. Make sure that, hey, we're only getting 3-4 yards here. And when it's a 3rd and short situation, tighten up the bootstraps, get out there, put on the Doc Martens, and take that offensive line for a hike into their own backfield and stop them. So, yes, there is reason to believe that, hey, maybe we can mitigate the damage Wisconsin does in the run game and then put the ball in Graham Mertz's hands.
That quarterback looks like Darrell Bevel.
I think it was him.
They've looked the same for the last 30 years.
Well, they've been teammates for 30 years.
And what's opportunity rate? Why are you making up stats on my show?
I like to feel smart
I've
sometimes.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, so that's like one of the stats I like to pull out when I like to feel smart, and it's actually like it's a dumb person's smart stat, which is why I use it. It's basically like, hey, if you're at the 10-yard line and there's 4 yards to gain, does the run go 4 yards? Yes, it does. Okay, that counts towards your opportunity rate. If not, then essentially it's a long way of saying, is the offensive line and the running back doing their job? Are they getting a rush of 4 or more yards? And Wisconsin actually
Graham Mertz has had a good year. I mean,
he looks solid. He looks solid. And I know there's a tale of two Graham Mertzes. 2 years ago, looked pretty good. And I put a lot of stock into him. And then last year, well, my stock absolutely positively tanked. He is the human form of cryptocurrency. This man is volatile. And he's actually looking okay this year.
Did he get Paul fired?
I'm not going to say it out loud. I would hate to put that on a college kid's shoulders. Look, hey, these are student athletes. They're trying their best out here. However,
are they NIL? Getting paid?
He is, I think.
He has an NIL deal with Graham Crackers.
I can't tell if you're making that up.
You didn't know that?
No, is that true?
No, I'm making
it. Is that true?
I'm making
Well, you
it
had
up.
me sold. Okay.
I know.
Well,
the way I said it, my face, it looked real.
I'm very gullible. Yeah.
No. That was good, though.
It was great.
Thank you.
It wasn't good. It was great. Yeah, there we go.
All right. Well, okay. So NIL's working then. You can boo kids.
I think we just did a free NIL deal for
Can you
Graham
boo kids or no?
I guess.
You student athletes. If they're getting paid, can you boo them? That's what I want to know.
If you're the one paying them, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily directly pay any players here, so I can't boo that. I'm not a big booer guy.
I'm with you.
I can't remember the last time I booed at Spartan State. No, I can. It was the Buick Field Goal Challenge. Sometimes some of those efforts are so despicable that all you could do is just boo.
06. Yeah. John L. Notre Dame, 3 touchdowns last 5 minutes. That was the last time I booed.
I'm going to walk off the set right now.
Yeah.
That cuts a deep knife in me.
That was...
Even though it was like a regular season game, it wasn't a championship or a bowl game, that's one of the hardest losses of all time. Jeez. I didn't speak till 4 p.m. the next day. I was despondent. I was like a Tibetan monk for the following day.
Yep.
I was outraged. But hey.
We don't. The last thing we want you to... Actually, I wouldn't mind being a Tibetan monk and not talking for 2 weeks.
You want to try to do it?
Actually, that's kind of cool.
Oh, and you want to get out here and do the rest of the show?
Yeah. No? That would be great.
All right.
Can we... Huh? What do you think? K9. Jump to K9. Can we show a highlight of K9?
Yeah, give us some
relive the glory.
Yeah, play the hits, Owen. Play the hits.
K9.
Yep.
There he is right there.
God.
Picks up where he left off.
I miss him.
God, is he electric.
That's so effortless. I mean, just imagine.
He's jogging.
Imagine that.
He's jogging. But it's great to see him picking up where he left off, and it's great to see Spartans excelling in the league. And he was a once in a generation type player. In my lifetime,
quite literally, yeah.
In my lifetime, I have never seen a Spartan on the football field more impactful than Kenneth Walker.
No, and look, you thought that last year as well, but this year has only exemplified that.
Right.
I mean, not to beat the dead horse into the ground, but hey, we all thought he was very special last year. That this is only exponentially grown, that vision of what we hold Kenneth Walker in. He's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Of all time.
Yeah, no.
I've never seen I've never seen a player have an impact on MSU football's program the way he's had.
No.
So we wish him all the best.
God, he's the best.
He's a better young man than he is a player.
Is that true?
He's a wonderful human being, humble, quiet. just what a class act.
I love him like a family member now, just hearing that.
I love him like a son.
I love him
He's
more than a
old enough
son.
to be my
I'll
son.
keep one up in you. That's right. I love him more than my own son. How about that? There we go. I can do this all day. I love him more than I love myself. There we go. Bang.
That's not possible.
Well, it might be. I don't know.
Do
He
you
was,
love
pretty,
him?
he was pretty good last year.
You love him more than this lighting?
Yeah, I love a lot of things more than this lighting. I'm about to get a sunburn out here. Are you kidding me? I should have put the SPF 100 on. This is outrageous.
That's why I got my hat on this way.
Oh, man. Whew. It's tough out here.
The obsession with Mel Tucker's contract.
Yeah,
Why are so many people fixated on this man's... Why are people counting his money? Everywhere I turn, there's a comment on Twitter, there's a comment from a reporter that are just fixated on his contract and his dollar amount.
Yeah, it's easy. That's why it's the easy bait, and it's the uncomfortability with MSU being, new money. It's supposed to be those classic programs like, Texas, Alabama. Hey, we're here. Sorry that successful donors wanted to invest in this program. I know that really doesn't sit well with a lot of you people, but yes, you throw that dollar amount, that's going to make for easy bait, no doubt about that. And, well, hey, we all think short term, don't we? And yeah, this season, is this worth $95 million? No, of course not. However, what is not worth $95 million is your way out of this hole and the vision of the future, which is what very smart people have invested in for Mel Tucker. So there it is. It's a bunch of people that either just want to get their jokes off or don't see the vision, or a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Are you worth $95 million?
I'm not here to talk about my finances. I'm worth about $95.
Okay.
Yeah, that's rounded up to the nearest 95.
Owen, mark my words.
Yeah.
And I tweeted about this, I don't know, a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 years, this will be the deal of the century.
It should be. It looks like it.
It really will be.
I like that, actually.
And when he gets his dudes in here,
Right.
and he's able to recruit at the level that he can, and this program is going to take, it's going to take time. It's not an easy, quick fix, like everybody thought that we're going to go into the portal and get a Kenneth Walker, and everything's going to be okay.
Right.
Or we're going to go get a corner, or we're going to go get a tackle or a guard. That this thing is going to be built from the ground up, and it's going to be built, not bought. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's really the way this program, and it's going to it could take a little longer than people thought. And so I think it's going to require some patience, and especially for those people where it's not your money, people. It's not your money. So I think the people that are successful in business and know how to identify talent, I think they know what they're investing in. And one day you're going to turn back around and you're going to thank all them for real. When you really jump back on that bandwagon. So time will tell, and time it will take. Patience is required, and trust the process.
I think it's worth mentioning too. Mark D'Antonio's third year, he was 6-6. And the fact that Mel Tucker, he joined in 2020, so everyone's like, oh, well, he should, this is when his recruiting classes start coming in. That was an awkward time that he came in and everything like that for recruiting. And, we're not really going to see that effect till next year when that's just because of that weird hiring process and everything like that. With D'Antonio leaving at that time he did, and it's just the way it was, It's these guys like Sayed Khalif are going out. They're recruiting like every single day. This is an ongoing process. It's not like they're sitting back and we're not very good right now, we're just going to wait this out. No, this is an ongoing process of Darian Harris, Mel Tucker, all those guys going out and recruiting those transfers, and they're going to make a difference next year.
This is a rebuild. As much as we love to see the preseason ranking, those of us that paid super close attention to the program and understood our depth knew that this was going to take a little bit longer than people had anticipated. So we're in that bunker. It's coming. But on the basketball media day.
Shooty hoops. That's right.
Tom Izzo.
He had some quotes. That's very unlike him.
He did.
Yeah.
Show some of those pictures you got for us, Owen.
Yeah.
Some of those pictures that went to media day. Who's showing up there for us, Matt?
I love that they brought the entire starting 5 to media days. Like, well,
too.
okay,
That's
interesting.
we're going to be handcuffed with players to begin with, and we're just going to start rolling them out right at media day. Like, you want to see 2 or 3 players? Nah, how about our whole starting 5? Let's just get them all in suits, very sharp suits, may I add. And yeah, we're bringing them to sweet Minneapolis, great city, awesome airport. So yeah,
Awesome airport.
I know. And Brian, I hope you're sitting down for this. This is going to shock you. Tom Izzo had some things to say about a lot of topics. Like, that's very unlike
Coach?
him. I know.
Well, they asked him, Owen, about his when he's going to retire, and he had this to say.
Do you want to hear it?
How long do you want to do? How much longer do you want to coach at this level?
I want to stay in Myron as long as you're here working. So you and I can have some talks. You know what? I look at it, and I got a lot of years to go to catch Coach K. I got a lot of years to go to catch Jim Boeheim. You know, friends of mine like Tubby and Roy, decided, but I got some years to catch them yet too, so I'm not quite as old as those guys, but I definitely have passed by Jay Wright, and yet one of my good friends and one of the great guys in our profession, and I'm going to do it like Jay did. When it's time that I don't enjoy it, or when it's time that I can't take a red eye from Vegas to Orlando, it'll be time to get out. That is not where I'm at right now in any way, shape, or form.
He's, he talked about a couple things, right? We got the preseason, they had us ranked 4th in the Big Ten, the media poll, which means absolutely nothing. But on having 10 guys, he said some things. On being the underdog, he said some things. And really on Jaden Atkins, if you want to expand a little bit.
I absolutely love the underdogs quote, right? Because there's not a lot of people high in Michigan State right now. And even within the fan base, I mean, even I'm a little skeptical, like, okay, we're only going in here with 10 scholarship players. But, hey, let's hear from the Hall of Fame coach himself. He says, and I quote, "I can see why we're not everybody's favorite. Deservedly so. We haven't accomplished enough. I do like the underdog mentality because they have a chip on their shoulder." He went on to say a lot more that kind of reiterated that, but me as a State fan, I'm in my comfort zone with this right now because this is where Tom Izzo thrives right now. Being the underdog, no expectations, everyone giving them nothing but doubt. Yeah, actually, to pile onto this, I did this the last time I was on the show. I want to do this again. I'm looking right at the camera. Tom, I doubt you. I don't think you'll have a good season. That's right. That's right. I doubt it. Prove me wrong. Let's go.
Coach,
Here we go.
I'm afraid to say it, so I'm going to drop it right here.
Okay.
Good luck.
See, there we go. Yep, nailed it. That should be. I think we just got like 5 more wins for the team.
That's all I got.
Just for that clip alone.
Preseason?
Yeah.
But if you don't win that game on that aircraft carrier, no, you can come home. You're okay. You're
Yeah,
fine.
no, it's like, yeah. Come here for 5 more years.
Your time
yeah,
is over.
10 more years.
Your time is over.
Isn't that funny though? It's like I believe him when he says that he has a lot more years. Like 2-3 years ago, like I was a little skeptical when he would say stuff like that, but now, like
He'll get buried under the Breslin.
Oh, he's
not retiring.
He's got a papal sentence here. He is here until he's kicked
not
the bucket.
retiring.
Yeah. No, of course not. And why would he? I mean, he's
the court's
earned
going to
the
get
right.
named after him. Ish has the naming rights to the court that wants to name it after him.
Yep.
The minute he dies and he gets buried under the Breslin, which will be 47 years from now when he's done coaching.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, minimum.
They'll name the court after him. It's that simple.
I wish I could be there. He's going to outlive me, though, so that's a shame. But
Probably all of us.
Yeah.
All of us. On to our next guest. Play that intro video for us, Owen.
Yeah, I've been sipping, I've been buzzing, shooting doubles like it's nothing, all but nothing makes you go away. I need something you prove, something stronger than I'm used to. Yeah, I've been pulling 92 hard and feel like nothing's gonna cut it, that's the hard truth. Yeah, I need something you prove, I need something you prove. Put them up till they shutting them down, yeah. You never ain't out around, yeah. Don't matter what time, what town, I can't get you gone. Turn the bar, yeah, upside down.
the GOAT.
There he is, right there.
The GOAT.
Bryce Baringer. Talk to us. Welcome to my fellow dog. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you for joining the show. We appreciate you coming on, and you had one hell of a year. What do you think, Matt?
I think I'm happy whenever I see him on the field, which is very bizarre to say
Are
about
we
a punter.
happy? Do we want to
here's
see him on the
It's
field?
like usually the punter is a person you never ever want to see in your entire life. But I
if
gotta
you're-
say, like, you take the edge off when the offense has to trot off the field. I'm like, well, at least we get to see greatness right now. You know, we're about to see something special. Everyone, turn your head around and look at the field because this is about to be a bomb sent downfield. So yeah,
If you're betting the under, sure. Do you
which
gamble?
I often do. Do I gamble?
Yeah.
Don't insult me like that. Of course, I
You
do.
gamble $5.
And I do it well.
Bryce, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you coming on. How's it going? Good, good. How's it going over there? Tell us the overall. We know you've gone through a rough stretch over here. How are the spirits of the team? How's it going?
We're good. We had a really good day today. We've had a really good week. Coach Tuck always preaches, what's important now. We put stuff fast. We hold each other accountable, team and as a program, and we're just looking to this week. So.
Hey, I got a question that sounds really stupid, but honestly, I'm fascinated to know it. When did you realize you were good at punting? Like, honestly, like, 'cause, you started off as a freshman. You got probably surprise playing time after 2 punters went down with season-ending injuries, which is very normal for college. That happens all the time. But now here you are, like, you are killing in every statistic. But when did you realize that I'm pretty good at this whole kicking the ball thing?
Yeah. When I was younger, and 5 years ago, I was very susceptible to self-doubt. So I never really thought I was that good. I always thought I was just, I was doing the bare minimum to get by, and I really switched kind of going into COVID. I had the convo with Coach State and Frestel and Dan Antonio to come back in the program. And I had a conversation with Jake Harbarger. We were talking about how you need to take advantage of the opportunities you're provided. And back when I joined the team in 2018, I clearly didn't do that. So I kind of had a little, flip the switch moment. And, I am good enough to, start working harder, room and practice. And, I've gotten better each year since COVID, 2020 last year, and then so far this year. So I just try and do my thing.
Doing it well.
Walk us through an off season for a punter. How does it differ for a punter as opposed to a left tackle?
Yeah. So in off season, I'm still doing all the the lifts and winter conditioning, winter workouts. Not the type that we don't do anything. We're doing everything with the team. But, we're lifting, running, and then when spring ball starts, we're kind of going based off of what Coach Ells wants us to do as far as, maybe 1 week we're doing punt, 1 week we're doing punt return, kickoff. And we'll just rotate those, drill work, whether here, working on in the indoor. And then into the summer is when most of your work done. So whether that be here in East Lansing, I had the opportunity this year with doing a road trip, coaching and also doing some drill work. So, good on the body, but we're working hard.
I got a this or that question for you. Actually, I have 2 of them. We're going to start off with this one, though. Would you rather bang a 65-yard punt, just boom one, a showstopper, or tuck one inside of the 5-yard line? What just gets you going a little more? Is it the bomb or is it the finesse for you? Is it the drive or is it the wedge? Let's talk about it.
I was asked this yesterday.
Original question. Perfect. Great. Awesome.
No. I love inside the 5s. I like those way more.
Gotcha.
Satisfaction seeing the ball fly, 65 yards off your foot. But when you have to make a team, drive into the field, trying to set our team up for, our best success, that's, I like seeing that.
My mind is in the gutter. You just said bang a 65-year-old pun.
This is a family show. First of all, I just want to.
Brian.
Why do you even got to phrase
reiterate.
things that way?
There go all of our sponsors.
Right,
Right out the window. They're there.
Why are you talking like that? I'm thinking to myself, why are you talking like
Because
that on
I'm
the
a
show?
millennial in a quarter-age life crisis, so I try to sound cool with my words.
Unbelievable.
I don't know what to say. That's all I got for you.
That's not allowed here.
Okay, well, that's been conceding, guys. Take it easy. GG's.
Hey, Bryce, congratulations. So, as a Ray Guy finalist, right? Are we down to the final 8 right now? Do we know?
No, so the Rays 8 was just the top 8 guys.
The top 8. That is
Gotcha.
outstanding. That is outstanding. Congratulations. And what's the process to them narrowing this down before the actual award ceremony? Do we know?
So for what I understand, they come out with their preseason watch list, and then on their preseason list, they're added to the watch list, and then right around in more weeks down again to a finalist, which is I believe 3 or 4 people. And then they announced the award on, the rest with the Blitnikoff, with, all the individual position awards.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. And, we want to congratulate you on your new NIL deal with Good Vim Coffee. We have that promo here attached. If you want to show the website for us where people can do you have the link to the website for the Good Vim Coffee? It's on the document. goodvimcoffee.com. goodvimcoffee.com. Tell us how that came about, Bryce. Can you hear us? We got bad technical difficulty. There you go. How did that NIL deal? Yes, there you go. How did the NIL deal come about? That's wonderful.
Yeah, so Darian, I drink coffee every single morning, and so Darian got me in touch with a fellow Sparty, Jamie, who's starting this with a couple other MSU people, and when he brought it to my attention, I loved the idea. I loved what it kind of stood for. Each bag, purchase is most of it's going back to the Sparty and Dawg Fund for the mascot. And it's just a good community thing.
So, just before I let you ask your last question here, Good Vim Coffee, GOODVIM Coffee.com.
Just put it in the chat.
There you go. Kick your day off with Good Vim, and most of the proceeds go to the Sparty Mascot Endowment Fund, and we think that's wonderful, and you're a great representative of that. And we wish you all the best when it comes to that. And we're going to leave you with one last question from Matt.
Are you ready for the hot seat? This is the hot seat coming up right here.
I'm ready.
So I understand that you're a +1 handicap golfer. So this is a 2-part question. The first part is I'm insanely jealous of you. That's all I have to say.
Is that a question or a statement?
Depends how you interpret it.
Okay.
That's up to Bryce. And second of all, would you rather win the Ray Guy Award or have a 10-year membership at Augusta National Golf Course? That's right.
It's easy.
Good luck with that one.
Whoa.
It's easy.
Oh, man. Well, you see the hat.
So you're already a member? Is that it? You're already a member? That's
Oh, no. I thought you guys know I had the chance to go down and watch my good friend James play this past year, but
I've heard of him. Heard he's okay. I heard he's okay.
He's pretty good. I'd love to win the award.
You know
That'd
what?
be something cool that I'll plan for the rest of my life.
Spoken like a true competitor. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate
right.
you,
You're the man,
Bryce Baringer. Thank you.
You're the man.
Ray Guy finalist. Thank you.
guys.
Good luck. Go green. What a fine young man. I'll tell you. He is going to be
the best.
He is actually, in my opinion, he might win the thing. He might win the
know.
Ray Guy Award.
And it is so weird to see a punter and say, like, hey, this is cool.
Hey, this is awesome.
Sweet. Yeah,
this is great. We love watching you punt.
I don't know if I've ever said that in my entire life, and we've had some great punters in East Lansing.
But when he kicks it, you hear that
it's a
thud.
spectacle. It's a spectacle.
Right
there's something different about it. There really is. Like, so you got to take the small victories where you can this season. And look, it's been a series of small victories for Bryce Baringer, and hopefully it leads to a big one in the Ray Guy Award. I mean, this guy's having a great season.
Fine young man. And
great young man, yeah.
Speaking of fine, we want to thank all the fine people for joining us tonight. Matt, thank you for co-hosting.
I didn't melt in the lights. That's
Leaders
a shock.
lead.
Well, yeah.
You have led us today, even though you're blinded by that light.
I can't even see you right now. I'm seeing spots. But
Casper, the friendly ghost. That's not your fault.
Casper looks Latino compared to me right now.
Before we leave, we're gonna get Owen's 360 MSU update. Owen, give it to us.
Take us to church, Owen. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Hi, everybody. I'm Owen Ozis with Owen's MSU 360 Sports Weekly Update. Let's dive right into it. And men's soccer, MSU fell to Penn State 4-1, but then beat St. Mary's yesterday 2-1. Both the captains, Will Perkins and Jack Beck, scored early in that one. Luis Sala picked up 2 assists. Now over to women's soccer. They have been fantastic. MSU took down Michigan 2-0 and still have yet to lose in conference play and are truly a special team. Lauren DeBow scored and had an assist. Jordan Wickus also scored as well. MSU women's soccer is now nationally ranked for the first time since 2009.
Let's go.
They are 15 in the United Soccer Coaches Poll and 22nd in the top drawer soccer national poll. Over to field hockey, MSU fell to number 10, Michigan 3-1, but then bounced back and beat Ball State 5-3. Lulu Fulton, she had 2 goals against Ball State. Over to volleyball, MSU fell to number 3, Nebraska, 3-0, and number 11, Minnesota, 3-0. It is now officially hockey season in East Lansing. On Friday, MSU fell to Bowling Green 3-1, but then they picked up their first win under brand new head coach,
the Night King,
Adam Nightingale. That was on Saturday against Bowling Green, 2-1. Daniel Russell, he picked up 2 goals this past weekend. And Jared Shouty, he also had a goal as well. Until next week, I am Owen Ozis with Owen's 360 MSU Sports Weekly Update.
Owen, thank you. And Matthew.
He's the man.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for dragging me up here.
You are a leader. You have made this show tonight.
Just trying to be like you.
Absolutely.
Just trying to be like Owen. Just trying to be like you.
Women's soccer.
They're good.
We got to get them on here.
You make it happen.
We're going to make it happen.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
We absolutely have to. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. You are watching the SD4L show. I am your co-host, Brian Musalam, along with my guest co-host and future star, Matt Sheehan.
That's a lot of pressure.
Thank you, everybody. Good night. Go green and God bless.
Go white. Let's go.
Yours.
Please close your eyes, turn around, and count to 9. When you open them, I will be gone.